So this is another silver birch tree. I'm just going to take it out of the pot, higher it up slightly because it's a little bit low in the pot. So we'll put some more dirt underneath, give it a little trim, see what it goes like after that. So at the moment it's in a formal upright style. This branch on the left here could be wired down to start to turn it into a slightly windswept tree. This one belongs to my brother, so I'm not going to do too much to it. It just needs to be raised up in the pot a little bit so we can see the roots a little bit better, because they were covered over just now. I've just done a bit of preparation to it already. So we'll get it out of the pot and we'll have a look underneath, see what's going on. This was watered very thoroughly yesterday, so it's still very wet with the soil, so I'll just mix that in with some dry before we repot it. Right, so I'll just have a little bit of a tease out of the roots just to see what's going on there. I'm not going to cut any roots, so unless there's any dead ones like that one there. So it's just a question of let's take out that. That's dead. Right, so I can see a couple of rotten roots which we can cut off because they're not going to hurt the tree. Let's see what's in there. That one's going right underneath. Let's take out those weeds. Alright, so we've got a nice big root there which hasn't got anything on it, but I think we'll leave it for the moment. I might just cut off the inside piece there. It's going a bit close to the rest of the tree. Just make a bit of separation. Better. So just take out. That's better. Alright, so it still gives us a nice root to look at, even though it's not feeding the tree. Just helps with the impression of maturity. So this one here is dead. As you can see, it's black. There's no fine feeder roots coming off of it. That weed. Right, so we'll just spread out those roots the best we can when we put it back in the pot. Let's see how flexible that one is. It's a bit tough. I'd like to move that one round, but I don't think I will. That one's dead as well, so that can come off. Take that back to the junction. That's better. Just make that a bit tidier. That one underneath is also dead. Okay, so that will do for trimming the roots. Let's get a bit of soil back into the pot. So I'm going to use the same pot as before. A nice size for it. Mix this up a bit. Get it nice and combined. Worm. Right, so like a little pile in the middle so we can sit the tree in firmly. There we go. Just spread those ones out. around the back. And go around the front. The nice thing about using a round pot is you can turn the tree 360 degrees and you can choose whichever side you want for the front, and it's not going to affect what angle you put it in the pot at, so it's one of the advantages of a round pot. Just backfill that. Nice and firm in the pot. Then we'll just trim a little bit of the top growth. Firm the soil in. Make sure the tree doesn't blow away in the wind. Sit it in the right position, firm it in. Chopstick helps to push all the soil in between the roots and to help firm it in. If you give it a little circular motion, a little wiggle, it takes all the soil down to the bottom. That. Right, let's have a quick look. That's a better position in the pot. Right, let's just try and firm it in as best we can. Because this pot slightly bulges out in the middle, you need to make sure you get it really firm around the outside edge. That's more stable, that's better. Let's get in there. Just do a little more around the edge. Back to forming it. There we go. Once I've given this a water, that'll help to settle the soil as well, and then I'll just put some more on the top, I think. So right. So I'm going to just leave a little bit of room on the top so that once I've watered it, I can then fill it up with a bit more soil, take up any gaps that have been created. Right. Let's have a look at the style of it. Let's see what we can do there. Let's clear this off. Right, so this is the front of the tree, I would suggest. So we can bring that down at an angle. Just need to trim some of these longer extensions, just take it back into the tree, bring it into a bit more of its original style. I'm not going to do a major restyle. just taken off all of the dead first of all. That is a very long extension, so we'll take that off. And this one here, we come back to where the fork in the branches. A bit of dead there. Completely. Right, so it's just a question of, let's say, going around finding where the extensions have become too long, just taking them back to 1 or 2 leaves, and that branch can come off. There's a dead branch there, that can go, and then go that one. Right, so take that one off. This one's got a nice bit. Right, so that one's too close to the trunk. And it's underneath anyway, so that, all hanging branches underneath come off. So this one here, you can see it's sprouting underneath the branch. That can come off. You'd only leave that if you were going to replace the branch above it. If you were going to take this big branch off, you'd have left that one to grow. So this one, the extension there is getting a bit long. So I'm looking for the internode space as well, so where all the buds are coming out and the branches are bisecting. If we've got too much growth between an area, I'm cutting back to where the internodes are smaller. Keeps it nice and compact. So that can come off. That can come off. Let's take that one as well. So this one back to there. Take that off. This one's getting a bit long for the space that it's got. And going at the top. I might take that off completely. I'll just trim this first, see where we are. Right, so that can come out to there. This can come off there. That's overdeveloped. That can come off. That one is going straight up and come off as well. Another dead branch, that can go. Good stuff there. This can come back at least a third of the way. Right, so those two can be wired. This one. Hold that one there. That one down. Right, so I think I might just bring that one down. So I'm just going to use the tourniquet method really. So I'm going to just wrap that piece of wire around the end and bring it down to where I want it and secure that around the trunk. That will hold that in position. Just tuck that end under the root to hold it firm. There we go. So that way you're not going to put any scars in the branch along the lake. It's got a nice natural flow to it anyway. So that will hold that there nicely. Spread those branches out so they're more horizontal. Let's use that bit first. So I might be able to do 2 branches with this one. Okay, that's good. Come under there, and wire this other one as well. Just pull him out to the side a little bit, put a little bit of curve into him. That's it. That needs to go the other way. Just do a single one on that. Do these two, just even them out a little bit so they're both coming out to the front. Right, so that can go that one. Back around the other direction. When you wire the two branches together, it's good for one to go round to the right, one to go round to the left. That way you maximise the strength of the wire and you don't end up with one of them uncoiling. There we go. So that should be okay for that. That can come down level. And that one just needs to come out. You feel that little space there. That's it. So that little piece should be fine for that. I do like using second-hand wire. It saves throwing it all away. And for small branches like this, you can get away with it. They don't need a lot of pressure to move them. So if the wire doesn't go exactly tight against the branch, it's not a big problem. You can leave fairly large loops in the wire and it will just push it into the position you want it. Go back there, I'll tie that bit of wire around that one. There we go, it holds that in position. More out to there. Right, so that one needs to come around to the front of it. I think we're going to lose this branch. It's too thick in front of that branch, so we've got inverse taper there. So I'll take that off. What I might do is just use that on the stump there and just pull it back to the other branch. Just go down a fraction. That's better. Right, so let's cut that piece of wire off. Right, so this small branch at the back, we'll let that grow completely unchecked next year so it starts to fill out the back and gives us a nice back branch. So this is a little bit thin at the moment, but if we just let that continue to grow all next year without cutting any of it back, it's going to thicken up nicely. In a couple of years, that'll be a nice back branch on there. Right, let's just see what we need. So we just even that one out, I think. It's going straight up, we just need to bring it down a little bit. Right. Let's anchor it on that V. Like so. And that will allow us to twist it. Perfect. Right. Right, so this branch, to my eye, is completely wrong. It would need to come off. But since it's my brother's tree, I'm not going to take that major branch off. I'll let him see what I've done to it. He can make the decision whether that's coming off or not. But for this little tree, that's about it. I'm going to give it a water now, put it in the shade, keep an eye on it, and we'll see how it develops next year. Thanks a lot.